To conclude the tier lists that are being made for the HOTFIX patch, we're going to finally finish it off with the DPS, right? Just a quick reminder, I am a gold DPS player, but overall plat player currently. I do have competitive background in other games, but I just wanted to kind of show what I think about the meta characters, yada yada yada, because I know everybody likes to hear from the big guys who are like the high ranks, because that's what they know like more about the game. But I also like to share my input to see kind of what I think and how it reflects off of things like that, right? So here we go. I'm gonna say like probably best well-rounded is probably gonna be Sojourn. This is not a DPS. And the reason for that is she's pretty good into most things, as well as like her railgun's pretty tough right now. But I really don't have anything too crazy. I think she's a pretty good character, puts out a lot of damage. She's a little high skill. I wouldn't say she's brain dead. I think a lot of people have the misconception that she's super easy, but I disagree as someone who has played other DPS, and obviously there definitely are easier characters that do not as much but get some value, right? And then the second best character I would say would be Reaper. I don't know if I want to put him in S, but I definitely want to put him in A for sure. Reaper is a tank bully. I don't think there's a tank in the game that can kind of just match up with him well, and just you know, I feel like he has outplay potential for all of them. And I feel like probably the scariest tank to play into as a Reaper is probably Roadhog, and that's just because getting hook usually spells death. But I think Reaper still bullies Roadhog when he is able to dodge the hook and or play around it, right? Next up, now we'll just kind of go down the list. When it comes to Ashe, I think Ashe is A. I think Ashe and Sojourn kind of do similar things, but I think Sojourn is probably just a little bit better. I think if you're not as good as Sojourn, Ashe is definitely a good character to play. Maybe she's even a little bit better than Reaper, but we'll just do this for the time being. But yeah, I think when it comes to the differences, they both have mobility to kind of escape dive. They both have high damage potential. The difference is going to be kind of in ults, in a sense of like Sojourn ult is going to be kind of like, let's open up, you know, let's get picks, right? And then in my opinion, Bob is more so of like a, can be used to get picks, can be used to get off angles, and can also be used to contest the card. I think her ult has a little bit more versatility, you know, especially if you're playing into like hard shields. It's like Sojourn, unless Sojourn can get into the backline or get an off angle, you know, like that ult may not get value, but Ashe's ult can get value in other ways, right? But I would think she sits here, right? Bastion is a cool character. I don't really think he's the best though. Definitely not D. And I don't really have enough category right now, but I'd say he's C. I don't think Bastion's crazy. I think Bastion has his spots, but I also think it's probably easy to pick him out because he's very slow and has no mobility. Cassidy, I'd say Cassidy's B. I think Cassidy is definitely not as good as these hit scans. The ult is kind of unreliable and for what it's supposed to be used for. But yeah, he's not a terrible character. He's really, in my opinion, extremely hard to duel when he has his grenade up. So many times I've literally been stuck, shot once and died, and I'm just like, dude, like I can't push him while grenade's up. So I think this is a character you don't want to play up and close with when he does have his cooldowns, unless you have a way to mitigate it. But yeah, so up and close I think he's pretty scary, but once you get into, if you can outpoke him, kind of falls off. Genji, I want to say Genji's A. I think Genji's still a pretty good character, but we'll kind of put him high B, I think, because Genji takes a lot of skill to get a lot of value out of, and with the nerfs he's kind of fallen down a bit. I would have said Genji's probably A, but yeah, I think Genji's probably top of B. I think he's pretty good. Not sure if he's super insane, but I think for how much effort it takes to play the character, it's hard to get great value out of it. Junkrat. I don't want to put him in A, because I think these characters are probably just better because they're more consistent, but probably right here. I think Junkrat can be good, has the burst potential and things like that on maps that are very tight. So since it's a little bit more situational, I'll probably put him under Genji. But in my opinion, I think Riptire, actually Riptire might be a little bit more consistent in Blade, not gonna lie. But I would say ult's not bad, and then if you don't need like a hit scan, or if you already have one, like I think he does a great job at blowing up tanks, as well as just kind of controlling area, right? So area denial. I believe Mei and D. I think Mei's pretty bad. I think Mei has like some niches, but like I don't know. Since you're not able to freeze people and it's kind of hard to close the gap, I think she's good at bullying tanks. But it's like, why take a Mei when you could just take a Reaper at that point? Echo, I think Echo's probably A tier. Echo's pretty good. And in a game where there's only one tank, the ability to kind of just duplicate one and just make two tanks is kind of crazy. Especially if the team does not have something to deal with it. So I think Echo is pretty good. I think it's one of those characters where you just need to practice it to get the most value out of it. Farah kind of falls in the same kind of category as Echo, but more range DPS. I'd say Farah falls to the bottom of B because there are a lot of counters for this character, and without a mercy pocket, she struggles to do certain things, right? So I'd say she's definitely better than Bastion, but I think these characters are probably better. Hanzo. I think Hanzo's a little bit better than McCree. I'm not sure actually. He's a cool character, but I just don't know if he's super strong in this meta. Yeah, I don't really have too much to talk about Hanzo. I like Hanzo. He's a fun character, but with him being able to get dove pretty easily, in my opinion, as well as like, I don't know, like he does have the one-shot potential, but I don't know. I don't think he's too crazy, and he has to play kind of far back. So, Torb. I think Torb's right here. I think Torb's decent. Has a turret which kind of acts like another player if it doesn't get shot right away, which increases damage in off angles, as well as like his ult is pretty good for stopping contesting and stuff like that. But other than that, don't have too much to say about Torb. I'm not really a DPS player, so a lot of these things are going to be kind of like just how I feel about them and not like in depth, like opinions and stuff like that, or just statements because of the fact that like I don't play DPS like that. Like, it's my lowest rank for a reason. Widow. If it was up to me, Widow would be up here, right? But it's all really going to come down to consistency and how easy it is to play the character, right? And since one shots are super, super, super important, I would say that Widow is definitely better than Cassidy, maybe even Torb. It's just it kind of the same Hanzo treatment, can kind of dive her pretty easily, but it's like if you're hitting everything, like this character's disgusting. But if you're not, it's like, oh. So I'd say this is probably pretty accurate. Symmetra. I think it's very similar to Junkrat, but not as good. I think Symmetra is pretty good. I think she's more like a map specific. But it's like I think when she can get her turret set up and things like that, and when she can get her beam going, like I think she shreds. So yeah. Soldier or Victor. I could say he's A. I think he's more consistent than all of these characters. I feel like if you're gonna go for a hit scan, it's literally in this order. It's through Soldier and can't play Soldier, Ashe can't play Ashe, Soldier. Right, so I think that's how it should go. So I feel like this is pretty accurate. Tracer. Probably up here. I think Tracer's a great character, just very high skill. And then Sombra. I think Sombra and Tracer kind of do similar things. So maybe like this, because I don't think she's as good as Tracer. Definitely better than Farah, because Farah doesn't get played much because she needs that pocket. And then into the Hanzo. I think because compared to flankers, it's like if I don't know. I feel like I might rather have a Sombra over a Hanzo. But yeah, I think this is kind of how I feel about the DPS pool. I think they're fairly balanced, to be honest. Like I feel like there's a lot of okay choices, and there's like a handful of like these are good. But yeah, this is what I think about the current DPS roster in this meta. If you enjoy my content, definitely subscribe so you never miss a video by this guy right here. If you like the video, give me a like so I know I'm doing a good job. And then if you want to comment and debate anything about anything I've said, by all means, down below, drop a comment and let's see what you think. Should Sojourn BD, C, right? Just, I don't know, whatever you want to say. But with that being said, I'm going to head out because I got some Overwatch gaming to do because I got to bring you guys more content. So I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Take care and peace.